Hey, how's it going today? My name's Joey Winkler. I'm a freelance filmmaker and photographer, and today I just wanted to chat about what good and bad $500 gigs are. I'm kind of inspired by this idea just because, like, I've had a ton of conversations with different creatives about how, even, 5, 10, 15 years into your career, you can still find yourself in this interesting place where you do get the notorious, hey, I have $500, I have $400, I have $300. What can you do for me? And instead of taking that as a point of contention or an excuse for feeling the initial gut reaction of, I'm worth more than this, or my value is X, Y, and Z, I've kind of been shifting my thinking of trying to figure out, okay, like, is there such thing as a good, cheap gig? And what does that mean? And, it's tough because, there's a lot of people with some incredible stuff that they're doing, and they just don't know how much this stuff costs to do. They don't understand that, if we're to do like a 1-day shoot, 2-day shoot with crew, you're going to spend like $10, $15, $20,000 just to make your production come alive. And I think with the advent of social media, we've definitely found ourselves in this interesting position where anyone can film stuff. And that's an amazing, beautiful thing. But I definitely think there's something to be said about finding a middle ground as creatives and not treating those inquiries or those people who are asking for something specifically within that $500 or less range as any other client in terms of a negative way. And what I mean by that is there are amazing opportunities out there for scalable recurring revenue that are in these lower dollar ranges when you set expectations that make sense. And I think what it really comes down to is, of course, your expertise, your situation. Are you doing this full time? Are you just kind of like a hobbyist? And what you want to get out of the project that you're doing. Because sometimes when you work with these lower dollar clients, you end up making something that you're far more proud of than some of your paid work that you might make. And that's kind of the shocking, crazy thing. Or even like who you might meet on set. Like I've done free gigs filming like promos for styled shoots for weddings, where I've met someone and in the process of meeting that person 3 years later, found myself hired and filming video and creating assets for the largest engineering firm in Seattle. Like that's the kind of like crazy opportunities that you don't get when you set a block of my value is this, therefore I have no interest in this, don't even talk to me. And again, it's a mindset shift. Like I get that, like, if you're busy and you're constantly getting crazy work, like, of course, go for it. Like, don't worry about anything I have to say by any means. But if going off on a bit of a tangent with all that, but yeah, just to get to my original point, I just want to give examples of what a good $500 relationship might look like and some ones to steer clear of. Whether you're a seasoned professional or you're new to this, I just wanted to prepare you for what could be thrown your way. So an incredible red flag example is anytime someone says they want one specific aspect of something filmed when it's something that occurs at an event. And the reason why this is a red flag to me is with a lot of event coverage, the expectations quickly become, oh, can you shoot multicam? Can you shoot more than this? Oh, can you shoot this? Can you shoot that? And what should be like an hour of the programming then becomes a 2 hour before arrival, just to make sure you can even connect your sound equipment into the soundboard, and then the exporting and the organization of that footage afterwards and the packing up. And the reason why I view those clients as kind of a red flag now is through my own experience of just saying yes to those opportunities. Mind you, it took me about 3-4 years to get to the point where I could charge $6,000 plus for a wedding video. So those inquiries started to slow down eventually for me, but there's definitely some verbiage and some questions you can ask to better understand what it is that person might be looking for. An example for me is I had someone ask to have some speaking documented that they were doing at an event, and person's awesome, had a great chat with them. And, on my end, I definitely chose to commit more to this just because I wanted to deliver a higher end result. But the time it took me in post and the time it took me to film and edit multicam footage from an FX3 and A7 IV and some iPhone clips, it just wasn't worth my time in the way it could have been if I had first set expectations differently, or if I had said no, or if I had chosen not to make the job harder on myself. Because as a video professional, it's like you want your stuff to look amazing. And again, definitely a ramble. But when you're asked to do event coverage and you're asked to capture things, it's something that like instantly could accordion and expand outside of the scope. And that's why I'm always weary whenever someone's like, hey, I've got this event, or I've got this thing I'm doing, or whatever. And a suggestion I would make if you're ever in that scenario is just pitch it as, I will show up with one camera, I will hit record at the moments I need to record, and then after we're done, I will give you the asset. And that's the cleanest way to not only make some extra cash for yourself, but also not put yourself in a situation where you have to commit a ton of resources, time, mental energy, and equipment to something that doesn't need it, So don't let the ego of like saying no to these gigs, and then the ego of like having to make it perfect be a factor in what you do with that. And then on the flip side, a positive example is I had someone who is a incredible musician reach out to me who wants help having professional video footage shot. And the contract that we worked out was for $500 a month. I just show up, I shoot, I go through and color grade the assets, and I send her a string out of everything I shot. And she can take that and do whatever she wants with for social media, for YouTube, for any distribution that she really needs. And the reason that has worked so well is it's an opportunity for me to refine and perfect my skills as a documentarian, meaning I've got a microphone on top of my camera. I'm doing my best to get incredible sound and incredible moments. And it just like, it's helping me be better as a cinematographer of being aware of how best to capture moments in like an event space or a music space. And then it gives me the opportunity to do funny skits and funny, silly things for promotional materials for getting her name out there for her upcoming gigs. So, and that one works out just because it's like, cool, like I have a great relationship with this person. It's a recurring gig. It's helping resolve a problem that she had, which is making herself look more professional online, giving her more assets, having her to have the ability to just turn her brain off and not have to hire different contractors all the time. There's so many different use cases for those cheaper gigs that I think are really important not to devalue. So I guess to kind of recap these examples and my perspective, I think there is such thing as a good cheap gig. It's just setting expectations beforehand in a working relationship that makes sense. And when you factor that in and you take the time to actually like work on maintaining that relationship and seeing what they need long term, you might be able to work something out where it's like, oh cool, this like $500 gig is now $2,000 over the last 4 months, or oh, they want to do a music video, sweet, I'm going to make $5,000 now. Like there are so many things that are worth investing in when you just take the time to not judge it based on the monetary value at hand. And of course, I know times are tough, and sometimes you just have to say yes to those gigs that are maybe not ideal in terms of pricing or difficult. Maybe you're doing 22 deliverables for $3,000 and you're hating life because it's in 2 different languages, and that it just happens. But I definitely think it's a miss as a creative to ever let the humility of what you think we're worth ever detract from the opportunities that could arise from choosing to say yes to those gigs. I'm definitely not saying that you should say yes to everything that's cheap, but I definitely think there's a time and place and an opportunity we're afforded when we just kind of sit there and we open ourselves to the possibility of what working with someone could be. As long as we have the bandwidth and as long as expectations are set in a way that actually makes sense for the long-term success of who we are as people and the businesses that we want to build. So those are just a ramble, some thoughts. I'm thinking of doing more of this kind of content just to, for one, get the professionalism and the care and expertise I have for what it is that I do out there, while also just lowering the barrier of entry of even just putting content out. Because I hate filming myself, I hate all that stuff, but I want to get this out there because I want to start a discussion. I want to meet people who have different opinions than me, and I just want to learn from other people and share what I've learned. So hope you have a great day. If you ever need a filmmaker, a photographer, a creative partner, or someone to talk strategy with, I'd love to connect. www.joeywinkler.com is my website, and I hope you have a great day. All right. Sweet. Oh, and the setup today was iPhone with Rode NTG mic or whatever plugged in with USB-C. Wow. All right. See ya. Bye.